Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Community Works. I'm Bernadette Welsh, your host. Each one of our shows highlights a local nonprofit agency in our area. Our goal is to educate you, our viewers, about the great work that's going on all around us, every day, by local agencies and their supporters. When people help their neighbors, everybody benefits. The focus of today's show is about the environment. And we are going to talk about an annual fundraising event that happens in the city of New Haven and all around the state called rock2rockbikeride.org or something like that. And so I don't get it completely wrong. I'm so glad I have the guests that are here today that are going to tell us all about it. So please join me in welcoming our guests. Okay, so Chris, you are from Chris Schweitzer from New Haven Leon Sister City Project.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Anna, you are from New Haven Urban Resources Initiative, and welcome to you too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Anna, if you don't mind, I'm going to start with you. And if you could please tell our viewers a little bit about what Rock to Rock is and fix it for me so we say it right.
Sure.
That'd be great.
The 15th annual Rock to Rock Earth Day Ride and Walk on April 29th. And it's New Haven's largest celebration of Earth Day. We'll have hundreds of people riding bikes and people walking. We've got 6 unique different routes, which we'll tell you about more later, and a walk in both East Rock Park and in West Rock Park. And it's a collaboration of 20 organizations that are all doing work that involves the environment. And it's a fundraiser for those organizations. So anybody who's participating in the event can do some peer-to-peer fundraising on behalf of either their favorite Rock to Rock partner or all 20.
Excellent. Very good. I think that's a good overview. Okay, so now, Chris, this is a great goal, raise money for the environment, but how is it accomplished? Well, what happens?
So basically, we get together monthly over chili with a bunch of organizations, other nonprofits, and make plans for what the routes are going to be, what the hikes will be, communication, how do we get the word out, Instagram, Facebook, or be on a show like this, or getting posters up, and each organization shares information about Rock to Rock on their own networks. We talk about a day of service coming up. We talk about a launch event where we just had one. We had a launch event this past Saturday to get people excited about the event and encourage folks to go out and fundraise. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of it.
Very good, very good. So right now, we are starting to see some of your partners, so tell me about it.
Well, the Bradley Street Bike Co-op this is their first year as a partner with us. And they do some wonderful work in New Haven supporting people who want to get their bike repaired or want to buy a bike, and they can go to the co-op. They've been doing great work in New Haven for a long time. City Seed's been a partner for a very long time, maybe since the beginning of Rock to Rock. This is our 15th annual, so we've been doing this for 15 years. They support all the farmers markets in New Haven.
Yeah, and Common Ground was one of the founding organizations, and it's an environmental farm and high school and does a ton of great work in the community. And we used to host the event there to start and end, but with COVID and other changes, we now start and end at East Rock Park. Mm-hmm. But Common Ground's been a great partner.
And hosting a rest stop this year.
Yeah, we did see Columbus House on the list.
Yes, Columbus House.
I would think now they're a shelter, so how do they get involved with the environment?
They've done work, I think, on gardens in the area and other sustainability measures within Columbus House.
Yeah,
excellent.
Greening their building.
And then what about Community Place?
Community Placemaking and Engagement Network is called CPEN. And they're a great organization. They are in the New Hallville neighborhood at the Learning Corridor and supporting a lot of different youth-based initiatives. They're encouraging kids to get out and biking and doing some gardening in that spot right there. So it's a really great organization that's been working with us for some time.
And Chris, what about EcoWorks?
EcoWorks is actually fairly close. They're up this way, and they work with taking recycled materials, and make them available for educational purposes. So a teacher can go by EcoWorks shop, you get materials for activities, art activities, other activities in the school. It's a great organization.
Cool.
And Elm City Cycling
Yes?
does education advocacy around biking in New Haven. They've been around quite a long time, and actually they're responsible for helping organize the routes of the rides.
I would think so. I'm sure they also wish that there were better bike lanes in the city of New Haven.
Yes.
They're advocating for that too.
Yes.
Yeah, good for them. And now Hamden Land Conservation Trust.
Yeah, they're a relatively new organization that we've been working with. They do some wonderful land conservation work in the Hamden area, and they have been big with helping to run this event in the last 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, Chris, what does that say? Haven's Harvest?
Right, they help food rescue and get food out to people who need food and do food rescue, not to waste food.
Okay.
And then Honeybee Projects work with youth and involve youth in youth leadership, developing youth leadership skills, and also taking care of and setting up honeybee hives.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I said, oh, that must be something about bees.
Yeah.
Okay, Anna, what about Inspiring Connections Outdoors?
ICO is a great organization. They're volunteer run, and they support youth getting outside. So they take inner city youth on field trips and go camping or hiking and doing wonderful things in nature.
And what about the Massaro Community Farm?
Yeah, Massaro is an old farm, and they out in Woodbridge, and they have built it up to be a community center and farm, and they have a CSA and have been a strong leader in this project for a long time.
Cool. Okay, now I'm seeing Neighborhood Housing Services of New Haven.
They do a lot of work on building affordable housing, supporting affordable housing, but also do a ton of work on energy efficiency.
Very good. And the New Haven Bioregional Group.
They work on helping people understand that we live in a bioregion and we are kind of independent on each other in that bioregion. We respect the limits of that region.
A lot of people don't understand that at all. The New Haven Coalition for Active Transportation. Well, we certainly want to get cars off the road. Is that what that's about?
Yeah, NHCAT has been advocating for active transportation as an alternative to driving cars, and so taking the bus, riding your bike, walking, and they provide free biking safety training courses and teach people how to ride bikes.
Okay, this is yours. This is yours. Chris, tell us about Sister Leon Sister City.
Well, New Haven Leon Sister City Project has an office here in New Haven where we do work on climate change advocacy, work a lot with youth. And in Leon, Nicaragua, we have an office run by Nicaraguan staff who do public health and education programs there.
Okay, very good. And then Save the Sound. We actually did a show here on Community Works for Save the Sound. And they are certainly huge about keeping our water on Long Island Sound clean.
Great.
So we certainly really respect them. And then Anna, this is your your organization. Tell us about that.
Well, Urban Resources Initiative it empowers and supports communities to restore and steward and enjoy urban forests and nature in New Haven. And so we planted 10,000 trees in New Haven, and anybody can come to us and request a tree and we'll come plant it for free. It's a green job skills training program, so we hire people with a history of incarceration and high school youth to come plant with us and give them paid employment to plant the trees with us, and then we support 50 different grassroots green space groups throughout the city that are doing volunteer work to make their local park or a vacant lot or a streetscape more green.
Cool. All right, Alex, thank you for showing that to us. Here we are back again. That was really impressive, that you have 20 organizations that are trying to do something, each in their own way, about the environment. I just think it's wonderful, and that's why I asked you to be on the show, because I think that's kind of a wonderful thing for you folks to be doing. Okay, Anna, Anna. Anna, I'm so sorry. Here we go.
doing
How
great.
does an organization apply to receive the funds, or just to be part of this Rock to Rock thing? So tell us about that.
Yeah, every year we're open to new organizations joining our coalition, or this collaboration that really started when all these organizations that are doing environmental work are kind of competing for an Earth Day activity. And we got together and said, why don't we do something together instead of competing? Let's collaborate. And so it's free to participate. All you have to do is volunteer to come to these monthly meetings and to support the event through sharing information about it and committing volunteers on the day of, and also making a goal for fundraising and participating in the fundraising aspect of it as well.
And before the show started, you were telling me that different organizations have different goals. Like some are modest and some are pretty impressive. So they do what they can. Is
Yeah,
that
it's a
the
wide
idea?
range for sure. There's
Yeah.
some that are raising 500 and some that are raising 50,000. So
Wow.
it's really all that you put into it, and we're here for anyone who wants to do an Earth Day fundraiser with us.
Okay, that is very impressive. So we're seeing
So
this-
they have to get involved with us in like October, November next year. For next year, it's
Oh.
kind of late for this year, but
yeah, I think it'd be a little
we
late for this year.
Yeah, we've been planning since December, so.
Okay, so when one event ends, then you take a rest, and then in the fall you come back, and let's say now let's plan for 2024.
Right.
Because you've got 2023 pretty much all set to go. Wow. Thank you very much. So Chris, we're talking about money, and some people don't like to talk about money, but you need money to make things happen in this crazy world of ours. So how much money is raised, and what do they exactly do with the organizations do with the money?
Well, each year it's different, and some years, last year was $170,000 was raised, and other years it's $250,000. It's different each year. Our goal this year is $250,000.
Okay.
So, and each organization comes up with a plan how they can use the money, whether it's for working with children, environmental education, or planting trees, or working on parks, or running farmers markets. There's a whole wide range of possibilities what the organization does with that. But it's really important work. I mean, it's not just the environment, it's really about public health. I mean, every organization is involved in some way improving public health, and we depend so much on the environment and for our well-being and for our long-term well-being. So it's really an important work, an important investment.
Okay, I think I see what you mean. So your Sister Leone organization might use the money in a certain way that's related to the environment, where you're, planting trees, and City Seed is bringing food into the inner city. So it's really, this is Community Works. What could be more indicative of Community Works than to have all these organizations do good for our environment? I think that's amazing, of what you folks do every year. Okay, so now we talked about it's bike and hike and rock and roll. So why is it that both of these things are happening, and how does that relate to the mission? So I think both of you could answer, but Anna, let's start with you. How does that bike ride thing work?
Well, we wanted to have something for everyone, and not everyone bikes. We started really with the biking, though, because it's something we wanted to encourage people to feel comfortable biking across town. So this is Rock to Rock. It's East Rock to West Rock and back to East Rock. It's actually Rock to Rock to Rock. But there are 6 different rides, and it's now a good time for me to go into the different routes. We have the family ride, which is a 1 mile option, flat, and it just goes around the East Rock Park.
Okay.
And then there's a 5 mile ride that goes to the summit, and it's because it goes to the summit, it's a little bit more of a challenge.
Okay.
But my young kids have done it and have been really proud of their efforts to get up to the summit and come back down. So
on a bike now, not walking.
that's
but
on a
biking.
bike. These are the all bike routes. So we have the 1 mile, the 5 mile, and then the 12 mile, which
Wow.
goes to Common Ground and back to East Rock Park. So Common Ground is at the base of West Rock Park.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar. Oh, okay, but I think we can clearly see the Rock to Rock big circles, and then those numbers are those stations where you can get a little drink of water.
Those
or
are just
something?
mile markers, so
Oh,
you
mile
know that
markers.
you're at 4 miles when you get to West Rock, and
Got
then
it.
there'll be a little bit of a longer way back.
Okay, cool. And then you go even more than 12 miles, don't they? Don't you? 20
We do-
miles.
Yeah, we have a 20-mile route that goes up to Sleeping Giant and back.
And that's still on bicycles.
Yep. And these rides are all on the road with a little bit. Sometimes there's a little bit of the Farmington Canal Bike Trail.
Yep, I'm familiar.
And they have ride marshals that support each of the routes. So we have volunteers who've committed to working with us every year to ride alongside the riders, but they're not police. The roads aren't shut down. We just ride alongside traffic and obey all of the safety and traffic rules.
Okay.
So then after the 20 mile, there's the 40 mile. And
Wow.
it goes all the way up to Sleeping Giant, just like the 20 mile. And this is the beautiful plan that our Elm City cycling partners came up with. This design is that you could, at the 20 mile mark, decide, hey, I actually changed my mind. I just want to go be done.
Yes.
And so you could choose to just stay in East Rock Park at the 20 mile mark.
Or
You could do an extra 20 miles going out to Lighthouse Point and back to East Rock Park.
I bet you that's a beautiful ride.
It is lovely.
That's really
Yeah, the
nice.
ride, just to say, the rides are designed to go through really pretty areas that are not too intense and where people would like to ride, and they're really
relatively
attractive.
flat and relatively.
Depends which, but
Right, yeah.
they're not meant to get we're not looking for the worst hills.
Yeah, we were looking to feature our region's beautiful natural areas, and so the 60 mile route is actually also really gorgeous. Going along the shoreline.
Now, this freaked me out. When I saw this before the show, I said, come on, give me a break. 66 miles. But I gather you were telling me that there are some people that are so fit and into that they could do it in 2 hours.
Yeah, there's some really fast riders. They really push.
Wow. That is so very impressive. And again, it proves your point, though, a healthy environment, good clean air to breathe, you're on your bicycle, hopefully it's a beautiful day.
Guaranteed.
Fingers crossed.
Beautiful spring day.
Guaranteed, beautiful day. Okay, so that is the bike park. Now there's the hiking part. So are those different trails, or what is the difference between the biking and the hiking?
Well, just we started out for our organization having a lot of members that don't bike.
Yeah.
So they
That
started out
would
with
be
a walk in East Rock Park, very chill, and sometimes they'd bring somebody along to do, talk about the trees in East Rock Park. And then we've had other hikes that have different lengths and distances. We haven't finalized the hikes for this year, but there'll be probably 2 or 3 of them at least.
Okay.
So people,
The one in West Rock is usually more of if you're looking for a hike to actually go up to West Rock, and the
Right.
East Rock one is a flatter one.
Okay.
And with this year, we'll have a birding expert along the way, so we'll
Oh.
everybody will get binoculars, and you can
That's swell.
look at birds while you hike.
I like that idea. Did we show some of the pictures of some of the people hiking or biking? I wasn't paying attention. Here we go. So
This is in East Rock Park at the start of the ride, and
I like your banner. You get the banner out there.
Mm-hmm.
People
this
wearing
is-
their helmets.
you can tell this is a longer ride because people have all the fancy bikes and
Yeah,
all the gear.
for sure.
yeah, they have to wear a helmet in order to participate.
Oh, and look at that banner. That looks like a start of. Is that a start or a rest stop?
No, this is when we started at Common Ground, and when you get there are 1,200 riders some years, when you get groups of 300 riders heading out at one time in each ride, it's a pretty big crowd of bikers heading out. It's really fun. It's a great community building event, both in reaching out to your friends and folks and inviting them to donate, and then all the meetings we have going up to it, and the day of service, and the ride itself is just a kind of big long party. People get together in the morning and have breakfast at the park, and then head out on the rides in shifts, one
Yeah.
ride at a time, starting with the 60 mile, and the final ride leaves about 11 o'clock, and that's
Okay.
the shorter rides, and then it ends with a green fair, which is music and food at the
Okay,
end.
we saw some trucks. I thought there was a picture that. So
This is welcoming people back from the ride, some
Right.
cheerleaders welcoming people back from finishing the ride.
and there's the food trucks.
Yeah.
Cool. That is so cool. And there's Bizarros,
Yep.
and they volunteer every year. And here's another group.
Yeah, this is a group that was riding with us along the Farmington Canal, coming from Sea-Pen and the New Haven, in the New Howellville neighborhood.
Excellent, excellent. And look at now, where are these folks?
These are one of the walking groups that are walking East Rock Park.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. And this is a great compilation of photographs that looks really super duper together.
Yeah, NHCAT had also organized a bike rodeo, which is a chance for kids to learn some bike skills. So that's going to be happening again this year, where families can bring, and adults too can learn some bike skills.
Yeah, like how not to fall when you brake.
Right, right, exactly.
I love it. Okay, I think that does it for our pictures, and we're back again. So thank you very much for showing us visually what goes on, and what's the date again?
April 29th, Saturday.
April 29th. We have to remember that. But thank you, because it really gave our viewers a complete overview of what is going to go on and kind of why. Now, I heard this day of service in between your conversations, but I don't think we've discussed, Anna, what is the day of service? And Chris, you can chime in, of course, too. What is it?
Well, we've been hosting a separate day to do service with the organizations that are our partner organizations. So any of their organizations can sign up to host an activity, which is usually an environmental action. My organization will this spring will be hosting some devining. We're removing vines from existing trees in the park in East Rock Park.
Because it kills them, right?
Yeah, it strangles them, and so we clip those vines and are making the access to the river in East Rock Park a little bit nicer, and saving those trees and saving some carbon.
Okay, and do you find that you have to pick up some trash along the way?
Yeah, there's often trash in the park too that we pick up. Some of the groups might be organizing other garden cleanups or working at the farm in Massaro. I know that the Hampden Conservation is hosting another one of the sites this year, and so is Haven's Harvest. So volunteering with the food rescue efforts is another option as well.
Do any of these days of service also contribute to the fundraising goal, or this is just part of how we are taking care of our community and our environment?
Just a chance for people to get out and, and help do something positive, help the work, expand the work of the organizations. Also learn a lot. I also find volunteering is a great social event. Getting to meet other people, get to know the community.
This year it's on April 15th.
Say that again, dear?
April 15th is the day of service.
April 15th is the day of service, so that's very important.
And you can sign up in advance on our rocktorock.org website.
Oh, we're going to talk about the website. That's what we're going to talk about next. Okay, so we have a graphic that shows some of there we go. So what we're looking at, folks, is everything that you should know before you leave us today. So it's Rock to Rock Earth Day Ride and Hike. There's the website, .org, right? rocktorock.org. You can send an email to that email address, very simple, info@rocktorock.org. Now the event location, we've talked about that throughout the program, but everybody needs to know that it starts at East Rock Park. There's the address, and if you just want to call and maybe talk to one of these wonderful guests of mine or somebody, I don't know, you'll talk to somebody, there's the phone number. Thank you to my wonderful director for putting that together. So what else will they find at the website? So tell me what's on the website. We saw all the organizations. We took that right from your website, but what's on the website?
Well, they'll learn about how the event comes together. They'll hear about our sponsors, which there are quite a number, and they'll learn more details about how to fundraise, about more background information on all the organizations.
And if they do fundraise, they'll see that there are prizes for people who raise $100, $250, $500, and $1,000 or more. So there are incentives to that come with either a Rock to Rock T-shirt at the $100 level. At the $250 level, Breathing Room has donated a yoga class for anyone who raises that much, or a free week of yoga, I think. And then at the $500 level, Olmo is a new sponsor this year, and they'll be providing their canvas sacks that when you bring those into the store, you can get a discount on bulk bagels.
Okay.
And they're also, another thing about OMO is that they're providing the hot breakfast to us, to all the participants in the morning of the ride.
Well, that's very generous.
We're very
of
grateful
them.
to have them on board this year.
And what's the name of that organization?
OMO Bagelry?
OMO?
Olmo.
Olmo.
It's elm for, it's Italian for elm.
Aha, I
you
should know
should-
that.
yeah.
We were talking about Italian for the show. Okay, that's really very good. And did we talk about the sponsors? Are there sponsors that are different from the organizations? Are there somebody you want to give a shout out to some of your sponsors?
Well, the Claire C. Bennett Watershed Fund is our top sponsor this year.
Okay.
They've donated $10,000 to help us run the event.
Wow.
It's not free to run this event, so
No.
so we have to raise sponsorships so that we can cover the costs, and then the sponsorships that we raise above the cost of the event, we get split between our organization, our two organizations, since we're the lead organizing partners.
Okay, so I get that. Any other sponsors that you want to give a shout out to?
Sure, All American Waste and
New
M
this
Fund.
year.
Yeah? Some more? Got some more?
Elm Campus Partners has been a long-standing sponsor for us.
Okay.
New in the last 2 years is the Kingfisher Adventures. They do kayaking on the Mill River.
Love kayaking.
Regional Water Authority,
Good.
Park New Haven.
Um,
I think all the people. Check
Farm-
our website.
Farmington Canal Rails and Trail Association.
Yeah, well, that's another reason to check out the website because you'll get to see the sponsors. The reason why I really wanted you to mention them is that, to me, as far as I know, from my perspective, if somebody's willing to step up and do something extra for an event, they deserve a shout out, a thank you,
Yeah.
because there are other organizations that don't. So, we're not playing the blame game here, but praise is deserved for those that do step up. So that's why I think it is important to talk not only about your organizations, but the sponsors that are allowing you to make such a cool event happen. On April
29th.
the weather's going to be perfect. We just know it. And it's rain or shine, though, right? This
Yes,
thing is going to
rain or
roll.
shine.
This thing is going to rock and roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've had some really successful events in the rain,
Yeah.
but
There's
this
rain
year it's going
gear.
to be sunny.
Yeah, no, it's going to be sunny. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. So, it's time to say goodbye.